Wait. Do y'all think I had enough? You know I'm not done yet. I'm not done it. Rewind. Here we go. And let the music begin. Oh yes. And I'm just doing one little last things before I get this party started. If y'all could hear me. Yeah, probably could. And I'm probably going to mute these because these get annoying. You know, Discord is. We got the gauntlet here. You what's it? Mute this for an hour. What else? This right here, I'm about to mute too. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. All right. I guess that's everything. Let me take this down. Y'all can hear me? All right, good. Good. Welcome again. And welcome to all that's listening and that will listen in the playback or far beyond. As you know, I'm the hold on. I'm Chaos Rain here. Welcome to the Chaos Rain channel. As you know, I go by the name of the Rain himself. And today's stream, I've noticed a few articles that's been circulating lately. And I've been asking about this particular article and many articles that was focused on the Black community, especially dealing with Black women. And I noticed that this article might not got too much buzz, but it got notice or attention to a few men in certain sectors of YouTube and social media. So that's something I'll probably cover today. But besides that, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the red button, the top notification bell, where there's uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. For usually when I go live or upload on the channel, make sure you hit the top bell to get the right notifications for that. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And you can now add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. Now, in regards to IG, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with IG. Should I create a page on IG or should I leave that alone? I'm going to leave that for y'all in the comment section if y'all catch the replay of this stream. Also, if you missed the previous live streams or uploads, I would highly advise to go back and look through some of them. I think one live stream I uploaded was someone dealing with what you bring to the table, and that got some little clicks, not much, but it's something that, let's be honest, this is something that most average or modern women don't like to hear, especially when a man poses this question. Now, me and Dr. Black did a good stream, a lengthy stream on this, breaking down the intricacies, the details, and why it's important for a man or any person to ask this question towards a future mate. And we should not be afraid as men to be asked that question to anyone that come across our table. So don't be intimidated, fellas. If she, and I mean she loosely, does not, and I mean does not want to answer this question, as you know, that gives the answer where she really belongs. And she belongs where?
She belongs to the street.
Yeah. So anyway. So now I was looking at, let me check my other end, see everything's clear and good. Looks like everything's clear and good. I might have to edit that. I think I see some tags that was not put properly. Let me see if I can fix that before I get started. Make sure you hit the like button. Oh, wait, let me fact. Like the stream, people, if you're coming in. Yeah. Yeah, hit the like button. And let me go back and re-edit something because I'm missing something here. I thought I put my thing properly, my tags properly. And another thing, when you're doing streams or live streams or uploads, make sure your tags are on point so you're able to look where they're at. So let me do this. I just gotta double check, make sure my tags look all right. All right, it looks good now. Let's see if that fixed it. Okay, it fixed it. Good. So you'll see the tags on top. All right. And oh, I forgot. Did I really add the thing on Twitter? Let me check my Twitter. And if y'all not following me on Twitter, y'all might be missing out. And I say you might be missing out, but nonetheless, you should follow me on Twitter as well. I probably will be more active on Twitter. The funny thing with Twitter is like I'm not sure how to use it properly as a person because I use so many social media outlets. It's like usually you think you do a post and you just leave it be and somebody will catch it, but it looks like it's more of a lengthy process how to utilize certain platforms. And I'm looking at Twitter now, so let me post up on Twitter, and I'm seeing somebody sending a message. What is this? That's interesting. That's very interesting. All right, so this is. Let me add Twitter. Okay. All right, so everything should be good now. So now we could now begin with the live stream. And like always, hit the like button. So the first article I'm going to look at, and let's share it. And I might open this up if y'all want to come up. If y'all want to come up, press 1, and we'll have the discussion. Where is it? There you go. So as you see here, this is the one article that was been floating around lately. All right, let me close this one up. I can see my end, so I'm not to zoom in. So look at this by Belle Del Paul, PhD in Harvard of 1979. So you can tell what her age is, and she's been a PhD from the University of Harvard since 79. That's roughly now going to be 43 years. And to look at this article, if y'all notice, to a lot of great leaders and scholars of our time, particularly one named Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he always said one of the few things in his chapter of life lessons, or even his book, the Legacy of Marcus Garvey, one of them old books that came out almost 35 years ago, is one of those books that he writes various articles, letters, and papers from his Negro newspaper at the time during the early 20th century in regards giving accurate information what goes on across the black man and woman, not only in America but across the globe. And one of his few articles and piece, he did lay a chapter in regards to propaganda. Now I can't tell you what it is because I don't have the book in front of me, but I know in that first page or two, he lays out what is it, what its purpose, and what it does. And we can go into the definition of propaganda, but I think Marcus Garvey lays it out what it really is. And that was back in the late 1920s. My fault. Late 1910s to late 1910s to early 1920s. So let's look at what she has wrote here. It's a sociologist and author of Single Out, How Single Are Stereotypes Stigmatized and Ignore and Still Live Happily Ever After. Aww. St. Martin Press, How We Live Now redefines how the family in the 21st century artists and other books. Atlantic's magazines described by Dr. DePaul as America's foremost thinkers and writers on the single experience. Now, mind you, her writing it and laying this out, I'm hoping this woman is not really single. Because when you look at most non-black women, Caucasian women, especially, I'm not sure what her tribal background is. A lot of these women that you see that you read that's mostly white female at best, do have a man and they're married. Now I hope people are really following that. The people that write your articles tell me what you should do in life, that especially that's not part of your race. Have a mate. And it's been married for a couple years, maybe a few decades. Keep that in mind. How you doing, Queen? Everything good? Thank you. Let's go now. In her TED Talk is what no one ever told you about people who are single. In Single Out and in her other works on people who are single, DePaul has drawn from social science data to challenge the stereotypes of people who are single. DePaul has drawn from social science data. Wait, I'm sorry. DePaul has also offered seminars, workshops, and on the science of singlehood. She is the recipient of a numerous honor and awards, such as the James McKees Cattell Award and the Research Scientist Development Award. DePaul has won more than 150 scholars publications and has served in various leadership positions in professional organizations. She has written opt-in essays and other articles for publications such as the New York Times, the Washington Post, NBC, CNN, TBS, EBS, and all those type of alphabetical places. Time magazines, New York magazines, Guardian, Forbes, Quartz, Nebulous, and the Conversation and the Chronicles of Higher Education. Belle DePaul has, and as it goes down, let's continue reading, has been described in newspapers such as New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal. And I think that's ones that you can get stock advice and finance, which is okay. And magazines such as the New York magazines, Atlantic magazines, and Economist, Mary Claire AARP magazines, Time magazines, and many others. She is an academic affiliate in the Department of Psychology and Brain Science, UCSB. Visit her website, depaul.com. Let's go down. And there's nothing here, but that's what she. So let's look at anything else. I thought this is a longer article. Well, let's go into another article. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Look through other articles. Yeah, there's a bunch of articles here. For the first one, as y'all noticed, that one right there was really laying out the foundation of what she does, her works, and she's trying to give a more in-depth of the stigmas of her research. And there's more here. And I gotta make sure this is the right another one. Oh, here's another one. This one is actually more of a like a PowerPoint. Let's look at this one, shall we? And I'm not going to download it because this is more of a slideshow. But let's read the beginnings of it before we could go into more depth to this. So let's look at this. Let's share this. And this one right here is deal with the psychology of women's what they call quarterly. The socializing of singlehood, personal interpretations, and social cultural factors shaping Black women's single lives. And this article was published almost 2 years ago. The abstract. Popular discourse characterized single Black women as desperate and dysfunctional, constructing of single status that reinforce broader stereotypes of Black women. Unfortunately, relatively little is known about how Black women define single motherhood or singlehood for themselves. The relative omission of Black women self-defined experience of unmarried life from research is a gap that limits scholarly understandings of singlehood and Black women lives. To address this gap, 24 semi-structured interviews were conducted with single, and they call it cisgender, heterosexual Black women ages 25 through 46. Now, as you know, this gap right here is where mostly childbearing age is usually teens to roughly mid to late 30s. But here they have to do a study to women that usually have more of a what we call a fully developed brain, roughly around 25, to engage in this study, as y'all notice. And I'm hoping I'm not losing y'all. If y'all know, let me know. From diverse educational and marital history backgrounds, thematic analysis yield 9 themes across social culture complex portray as liberation, interpersonal advice, support, and judgment, and personal proposed security, freedom, and frustration, life domain participation, enact a range of strategies in unmarried life, including strategy singlehood and the intentional practice of maintaining single status to foster growth, maintain freedom, or ensure safety. So you say being single, you are at a more higher risk for growth, freedom, and safety. Now, does that really make sense? Usually, if you are in a relationship or even go as far as marriage, that should equate to all 3 of those. I'm just saying. But to find that someone's right and let you know, say, just be by yourself and you'll be fine, that's where you get the most vulnerable. By yourself, it's a woman in a Western world that's uncertain. Way around wolves and thieves. Anyway. All right. Difference in singlehood were observed by marital status, age, and marital history. Findings suggesting singlehood is socialized through scripting and gendering racial socialization process. Media features single Black women advise the judgment from families and shifting gender roles for women contributing to single socialization process. Studies find suggest new directions for practice. Research and policies online cited for instructions who want to use this article to teach or for teaching or available on PWQ websites. And I don't know if I'm. Oh yeah. That's just a little snippet of the abstract. So let's look into this. And I'm gonna have to stop sharing screen so I can get to this. All right. All right. And as we go down, this is the PowerPoint. Let me see if I can make this bigger for y'all, because it's not big enough. So, yeah. All right, I think that should be big enough. Let me look at my end. I'm double looking from 2 different monitors. Let me do one more time. All right, that should be enough. All right, perfect. Y'all should be able to see it. Socialized singlehood, personal, interpersonal, and social subcultural factors shaping Black women's single lives by Jessica D. Moorman and Wayne State University. And as you know, Jessica D, there's a picture of her. We're not going into that. Shows you popular discourse characterized single black women as desperate, dysfunctional, which is I read earlier. Let's go down. To better understand, and there's quotes, family, marriage, singlehood, black women stereotypes, black feminist theories, share recognition of self-definition, gender, racial socialization, sexual socialization, intersectionality, sexual script theories, racism, respectable politics, quotable research methods, etc., etc. Let's go down. Why do you think that it is? According to your Census Bureau from 2019, now 3 years ago, the rates of singlehood has increased by all U.S. women over the past 30 years, with the highest rate of single status occurring amongst black women, which always, they're always the highest. What do you think that is? What are the consequences? There is consequence for every action, if you look at the left-hand side, because every action there is a greater reaction. You always hear constantly from the male side of things that males should alpha their way out of everything. That is a non-productive rhetoric. You're not alphaing your way out of nothing. You're going to work with other men. Same for women. You're going to have to find like-minded women to really behold and create the orders that you find yourself today. But let's go into this. The author says here, demographics and structural explanations of black women's singlehood has overlooked black women's agency and their single status. Some research overrepresent the experience of poor and working class black women with children. Discussions that ways in which there are specific sexual scripts for black women. Have you seen message in the media mocking unmarried black women? That's a good question. I don't think so. I could be wrong. If anybody think that they see things on the media, I watch TV to let y'all know. Besides the internet, this is most I'm gonna know what's going on outside television. So if you might know of any or any media outlets that have you seen message that media mocking unmarried black women, let me know in the comment section of this stream, because I don't remember any. I could be wrong. Let's go now. What do you think of the reflective practice and discussion of positionality by the author? Should all research do this? Why or why not? Do you have any reactions to the interview's questions? And it says, what is missing? Were you surprised? These are questions. By most frequent use descriptions of single life, were you surprised? In what ways does marriage thwart liberation? Are there ways that are race specific versus more universal? Discussions of your reactions to the advice Tracy said would give to her 2-year-old daughter one day. And what's that? That you should go out here and mass enough comes in your body and body counts, and then eventually once the phone stop ringing like that, once you're approaching what they consider the wall stage and all this nonsense, are you going to sit this and now it's time to settle down? Are you those women, ladies? To Sandra's team approach to dating, having 5 boyfriends of whom provides various types of support. And I wonder what those supports are. Let's go now. What do you think? Site research with it Hunggenbotham 1993 suggests that partnership and motherhood legitimize participants to their families, providing evidence of a woman's heterosexuality and expertise in the domain of family. Ideals reflecting a respectable politics and its assertion that heterosexual partnership legitimize black womanhood. What does this say about the role of marriage and the norms of heterosexuality in U.S. culture generally, as well as in terms of black women specifically? And it goes here, do you relate? Another question. Some participants conceptualize single life as a process-driven period of growth and development. always away from romantic relationships. Hmm. What do you think? Some people would think that marriage provides security. The participants in the study seem to think otherwise. What do you think? If marriage wasn't as expectation, do you think it would be so frustrating to be single as suggested by participant reports? Now, right here, what I've heard going around that there are large sum of sisters that don't want or don't mind being married, or they really don't want to get married at all. And the reason is because, let's be honest, when we hear marriage in the Black community, you always got to keep in mind that someone views being into a real committed marriage is work and is another form of what we call slavery. Now, I'm not sure how stupid that sounds, but that's something I've heard lately for a year or two. And my feedback on my side of my family, parents are married, still married today. And there are some people in America, Black people, that might have some parents that were married still today that was born in a certain era. And in my opinion, if you're not a baby boomer, 9/10 time you will not have a very long lasting marriage. In my opinion, this is my opinion. When it goes down to next generation, Generation X and down, your marriage is not going to last if it hasn't really last over 20 years, especially a Gen X. And depending how early or late Gen X, you're lucky if you're even in a marriage now in the 21st century. If you got married around the 90s or mid 80s, and usually the older Gen Xer, the I would say the better in some case, but when we know, like, in this system we live in, marriage is, when you hear people about marriage, people being married or no longer being married, you always hear it's always the opposite sex that wants to end the marriage than the male. Now we go and many reasons why marriage start to fail and women file for divorce in the rate of more than half than men. We can go down the rabbit hole, but we're not, because I've covered that already in regards to the solution of marriage, which I will put in the I'll say the end of this video. My solutions on it. So, be on the lookout for that. But let's go on. And make sure you guys like the video. Why might married women not have freedom? Do you think the same as true for men who are married? What other factors, having children, might affect freedom when marriage versus single? How might intersection identities affect freedom when single was or single versus marriage? What else could be going on? What do you think? Do you think finding from the study would vary from exams by those who are intentionally single versus who haven't yet found a partner? What about those who are single and dating versus single and not dating? Hmm. And here, two tenets of Black feminist theories were emphasized: self definition and shared recognition. How do these tenets relate to the identity themes strategized by singlehood? I want to know too. All of the women in the study who were divorced or widowed in their 30s, 40s experienced some form of violence in their marriage. Was this surprising to you? Why not? Now, mind you, when you talk about violence, you gotta go in detail about that. Queen, if you're in the chat room, please, sniper that you see in the chat room, please. Thank you. When they talk about violence, there is research and information now that most violence is always now, from my find, initiated by the woman. The commanders don't instill violence. There's always a cause and effect for everything. Now, does this make it right? I don't know, because usually a man, it takes a lot for a man to sit there physically put harm to his mate. And we're not going into deep factors. But this is out here now. Let's let y'all know. Let's keep going now. Now that you read this study, how would you respond to people who hold the stereotypes that Black women have high rates of single status due to hyper independence and inability to conform to gender roles? And there's a lot of reasons why a lot of women don't want to conform to gender roles because they've been trained not to. To engage in gender roles, that is a learned behavior. That's something your mother has to teach you. And eventually, if your father's around, he sometimes should be instilling it and keep re-emphasizing, if possible, to you. And let me see. I'm just looking at some guys. Mm-hmm. I'm just going through some things. All right, I think that's everybody. I was checking the other end. I wish I was able to put streamers on Facebook as well, but Facebook's a little funny nowadays. But anywho, let's continue on. All right. Discussions. How were the findings of this present study consistent with sexual script theory? Now, I'm hoping to give a definition of sexual script theory because I don't know what the hell that is, to be honest with y'all. That's something new to me. Oh, everything's doing well. Miss Funder, everything is well. I hope you like the stream. If you want to come up, let me know. Press 1. One guy named Jay Line said it's game over for Black women in the West. All right, let's go down. The author notes some limitations related to the sample and omitting queers, transgenders, and older Black women from the studies. And you see this is dealing with the little plus and up and down sign intersectionality. What were consequences of these omissions? Were there any other omissions not noted by the author? The author lists practice and policies implications. Can you think of any other? In conclusion, the author says collectively, these findings appended dominant notions of Black women's singlehood as unwanted or evidence of dysfunction. How so? And it goes here. Strength. What do you believe are some strengths of the study? What are some limitations? After reading this article, what research would you like to see done next? Final thoughts. Do anything else come up for you in reading this article? That's we don't discuss. And I think that's the end of the article. It is. Yeah. So I hope that gives y'all something to think about. And I probably will have to put this in the description. Yeah, I'll probably put this in the description. All right. And let me check if I'm still showing here. All right, I see that the chat room is still lit right now. Okay, good. So that was the end of that article. And one thing, I gotta go back to this Psychological Today to see if there is any lengthier studies of this on Bella DePaul. Oh, she has a video, which I cannot play because this is a TED Talk.
So good.
Yeah, I can't play this. This is TED Talk. I'm not gonna go over that. Matter of fact, nah, I'm not gonna do that. All right, y'all guys gotta watch it for yourself. I'll put the link to her because she has an actual video of her explain more about this. So I'm gonna go back. And she does have a book, Single Out. Which, if anybody reads the book, they'll know what it is. So, all right. So that's that. Let me see if any other journals up here. And this article from Negro Manosphere, should I read this? I'm scanning through this. Oh no, I'm not good about it because this is something that the old man could probably go through himself. I'm not gonna do all that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. All right, so I'll put the links, these articles for yourself to indulge in. All right, so let me post back. So I'm not sure what y'all take so far. I'm probably gonna drop a link for anyone that wants to give their commentary. Let me see, where's my link? And I want to hear from y'all, and y'all take on a lot of things. Do y'all think and believe that there is really a warfare play against the black woman, or America declare war on black women in general? Because this is really big to know. Say you have many professional scholars, PhDs, etc., that are writing books just to convince women, especially black women, to be single and must enjoy life single, and being in front of a man or his counterpart is looked as a form of demonization. I think I have a problem with that, but hold on. And I'm not sure if anybody else has a problem with it. All right, so let me drop the link while I and we could probably chop this up, people. Oh wait, there's not as I drop the link, I'm gonna read through your comments because I see the comments rolling now. So let's look at the top question. Why you ask this question? Well, I answered the question probably earlier. If not, I'll reiterate. But and if you want, hit the like, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, the Cash App's there. And thanks to Queens of Virtue. Okay, I saw you, Thunder. He says game over. The culture in the West promotes degeneracy, dysfunctionality, toxicity. It is a sinking ship, which I agree. By some individuals, yes. Society as a whole, not so much. Okay. And my thinking is this. Society is going to move accordingly by what outcomes they want for the people in each city, town, or state they're in. They set a certain script, a direction where they want to take America, aka the West, where it needs to go. Now, as you know, if you have a set of people that are single, you are entitled really create atmosphere to reduce the population of people. Now, if y'all know, I've done some content on what the real attention they want is. They want to turn a billion to a few 100,000 or 100 million or 100K or more people across the world. They want to drop it to right now the population. Matter of fact, what's the population for America or just the world right now? Since I'm talking about population, because we don't know what the population is right now. Let's say the world population. Population. Let's see what the world population stands. We're still at roughly 7.8 billion as of New Year's Day. And there's one that showed that it's 7.9 billion. We're going to get around 8 billion by the end of this year. Mark my word. But the intention of creating singlehood amongst people is to The population actually, Thunder, is roughly now 7.9 billion, and we will get 8 billion roughly by the end of this year, at best. But the whole purpose of promoting singlehood to women and tell them it's okay, they're doing it by themselves, they're no man, etc., because it benefits corporations, businesses, and anybody that wants women, especially sisters, to continue consuming for them, meaning you consume in your workforce. You consume buying products that is not manufactured made by you or manufactured by us. The whole scheme of things is consumption. What's good, Shatter? If anybody wants to come up, the link is in the chat room. And consumption is the end game of everything. You want to create a set of people and society of pure consumers. And they already done the data and the statistics, the data for decades now, and they have concluded it is in the best interest to make women be the permanent consumers of the West, we call America. They don't want no functioning families. They don't want people holding on, saving the money, and making use of their money. They want you to work or work yourself. And work yourself you will must, and you shall. Because if you don't work yourself, they cannot eat, they cannot consume, they can't suck your blood. So now we find hit pieces and books that's written, designed, and advocating and promoting the benefits of being single is problematic, especially if you're a woman in an environment that's very much uncertain. Oh yeah, it is. It is, J Lion. And the biggest question people should ask: where will people stand during this great fall of what you want to call Babylon? But like I said, majority of black people are survivors at the end of the day, and this right here that we're facing, this will come to pass. Now, do you expect a whole lot of black people surviving this century? The way how things are running and going, and what they want, and how they want the environment to look like in next, I think next 31 years, I believe. And my math is right. So once 2053 come around, they want a complete assimilated population of people from black to white, and make this what we call a browning country or a tan country, where you breed and create confused beings that don't know what they are left and right. They will say they're this, they're going to say they're that, they're going to say in the middle, which really America does not recognize middle of nothing. So I'm not sure why people say that there's going to be a middle. There's going to be, when there's a color line, there's going to be people that's going to be in the middle. No, there's sides at the end of the day. You must pick a side. Let me see what's going on in the chat room. But before I go, let me continue. So, like I said, they want us to pick a side, and our children that we produce, depending if we're still, still producing from black people, those children are going to be the buffers and the confusions of an uncertain environment that's going to be fully run by technology. And technology is here nonetheless. But here's the caveat. They want to be so automatic that you move according to the automation. So you're not producing anything much like you used to. So obviously you get your little trinkets, you're going to give back to the capitalists. The capitalists will lovely get your money back tenfold. Hell, certain jobs you work, they're expecting that they give you a check. They will want you to give partial or more of your check back to them. As a winner take, give or take, if you think about it. And I don't want to see majority of our women be complete consumers. Matter of fact, since I'm out here, let me see who I can find on the line. Make some calls. No, automation is here, J-Line. So you think it's here? It's already here, brother. The only thing that the caveat of the automation is how much you see the effects of automation in everyday society, which they don't talk about. And please like the video. Let me get somebody on this line here since I'm talking to y'all. Cause I had to talk with a good brother on this. Hold on, my phone's acting up. All right, good. Okay. I'm gonna take this call. And as I take this call, if y'all want to come up, that's up to y'all. I might not stay here long. I'm not sure what that is. Look like that's French. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. And this was a good story. I had to talk with Mr. Miller on this. You know, we did talk about Sir Banks and his struggles.
Peace.
What's good, Terrence? I'm on the air. I'm live on the air, as you know it. Remember the conversation we had, Terrence, in regards to the one sister that wanted you to stop what you're doing to come over to another soil, and she did not really think about fruit. Remember that conversation we had?
Yeah.
Before you go and reiterate, because I want people to get a clear understanding. I've been talking about this with the people on my channel right now. That I read an article, and there are a few set of women, particularly white women, have wrote books advocating and promoting and teaching that it's kind of good for women, especially black women, to be single, and they get more better out of life and to get more things done being by themselves or being around other women in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And that they should not be looking for a man much as dealing with a black man. And then this other PDF shows the so-called layouts of the singlehood, which I can't really go back to. But it seemed to me that they are preparing the future women now, that's Gen Zs and above, and maybe some Gen Xers if they read this crap, that they're advocating that it's okay, having hot girl summers, spending a lot of trips, spending money, consuming, and that you're more safer that spending money, being by yourself and stuff, than being around the company of a man and having relationships in the family. From what's laid out, I'm not sure what's your take on that.
Sounds absurd.
Yeah, I mean it's absurd. I mean, yeah. Hold on. Chanel, can you sniper that thing that's in the chat room, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's absurd because I'm picking majority of other groups of women. They put information and propaganda about the glories of being single mothers or singlehood to the public that reads this crap. But you go and look, the white women or non-black women are having relationships and husbands while they put up this false narrative for the public. Do you find it odd, Terrence?
Yeah, it's a double standard.
Yeah, it's a big double standard. And I'm thinking, saying, how you as or any man could really work around this or deal with, some women that really have these ideologies, this, I would say, feminist thinking. You get me? That this is cool, this is the way to go, and they could mess around with their lives and go up to as high as up in the mid to late 30s, and eventually they start fake of maybe get into a relationship or look for a man for maybe potential marriage. You get me? Potential. And I'm thinking, saying, I did not know women control marriage. Usually, a dude makes decide if he wants to get married with you. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen videos of women getting on one knee, bro, and asking for the man for marriage. I mean, I find this to be goofy as fuck, bro. I mean,
we gotta look at it.
Yeah.
That's more of a masculine approach.
Yeah.
You think about it, the world we live in, as far as when it comes to especially educational pursuits in life,
Mm-hmm.
it's a woman now taking over the masculine. I remember when I went to Texas Southern back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I had every class I had a woman instructor. The biology class,
Okay.
only class I had that was a man was the lab chemistry class, but the classroom chemistry was a woman. The classroom biology was a woman, and lab biology was a woman. The math was a woman. The English was a woman. So you go figure. Then I'm looking at like all the deans on the wall that was all men. Then I start seeing a woman here, a woman there. And then I even see women that in the engineering fields, even though they're not treated with acceptance by men, but they're there. So that, and then women raising a family, and we in an era where they the breadwinners, they finance and take everything like my mom did. So that's a masculine role. So when you take on a masculine role, there's a masculine demeanor that comes with it.
Yeah. I agree.
Because even like driving a car, women wouldn't drive in a car, and I find that the most aggressive drivers are women now.
I know women drive. I thought women always, well, they did drive.
No. I mean, I talk to a lot of old timers, and they said my husband would never let me drive a car. He would always drive me everywhere I needed to go, and I've heard that for years. Being around.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and my roommate, he was telling me that just a couple of weeks ago. That his mom, because he about in his late 60s, and his mom, I think he like in the late 80s. He told me that his mom never drove. Matter of fact, still to this day, that she's never driven a car.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Even today, I see. That's I'm learning something new because you're older than me, so I would take what you say as factual. But hold on, before you speak on, let me see what this is. Shadow, you there? Shadow Star, you hear me?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. That's good.
Yo, what's going on with you, brother?
I'm good. I'm here with Terrence Miller. Say hello, Terrence. I'm Shadow.
Yo, what's going on, Terrence?
Yeah, all right, good. Yeah.
Peace, my brother.
Yeah. So, what's your take, Shatter? I know you were just brief listening. I know you missed a good portion, but what's on your mind?
I mean, for the topic, man, I think that you pretty much on point. My personal opinion on this is that it has been a war on them, but it's a more covert war. But they don't really see it. We as men, we see it because we starting to see what it's going to with this toxic femininity stuff that they have let take over. And some black women, they starting to see that like, man, well, we don't want to become men. We want men. And then you got another sect that's like feminist, like joining that feminist thing. But I think over time, I think they're starting to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way. That's not the way we gonna get, what we want, which is, you know what I'm saying, a brother to be there for them, or a husband, some kids, a decent facsimile of a family. You're not gonna get that following these feminist talking points. And I think that they've been co-opted by that.
Okay. Yeah. They're not gonna get that, because they've been trained, under this, feminist thing for. And one thing with school is because I go to school and I know school teaches feminist literature, like until I came across the internet, and I think if they are teaching this, there is a reason to continue to condition the mind of women that your existence without man is okay, if that's what's being taught. You get me? While everybody else, they get a different view from the feminist rhetoric. That's why women got to understand, if you have to be in an environment where you have to be always constantly masculine, you always got to put in factors saying, that is actually a learned behavior. You get me? You're not really born that. You have to be trained that, Whereas someone tell you, say you got to do this by yourself and all that stuff. Yeah, it puts the cues to a lot of young impressionable minds, and eventually, as they get to adulthood, they think it's normal behavior. So that's what I believe. I could be wrong. Let me see who's somebody said something in the chat room. I see the time I have an early morning. I got to dip. Okay, please. All right, good. Thank you. Yeah. So
All right.
Yeah. But one thing, Terrence, because I know you were talking about the one lady and to be honest with you, Terrence, I'm not sure how old was this woman the time you told me this last night in the conversation.
She in her 30s.
Okay, and her biggest issue is she cannot deal with the stresses of the Western world. So she.
Well, I mean, no. The problem is she want to be a boss.
Okay.
But she don't have the vision to be a boss. And see, that's the downside of bringing. I mean, we had to look at the gender roles in life, not just from a Western society perspective, but going back to when we reigned in civilizations.
Okay.
And it wasn't a thing where it was a over masculinity expression and women was docile. It was a more respect, like, let us handle this, and you focus more on spirituality.
Okay.
And we'll focus more on the masculine things. And now, because the downside is when you start to focus on masculine things as a woman, you lose your spirituality. And this woman I'm talking about, she lacks spirituality. When you can say, fuck that Ifa, when you start talking like that, I already know. You're talking about something, you're talking about a spiritual system that has been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
And then when you say, forget it, kick it to the curb, you ain't got nothing to replace it with. So now you're just a emotional and mental being. You don't have no spirit expression. You don't acknowledge it. You don't practice it. You don't study it. You don't read it. And you definitely don't practice it. So.
Yeah. But
that's what they wanted, though. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been the worst drivers I've been in the car with women.
Yeah. I trust me. I know a few accidents, and always was a woman that was in the wheel.
Hey, bro, like I literally.
She called herself mocking me. She was younger. She was like 25 at the time, back in 2015.
Okay.
So she would always call herself looking down on me because I was driving too slow. But then I'm like, but you the one got to get up in the morning and go to the community service to put in hours for them traffic offenses from driving like a maniac.
Yeah.
This is the same one who started driving trucks, and I think about a year and a half ago in her car, she hydroplaned. That's when the car hit one of them, it's already wet outside, and you hit a big wet spot, and your car starts spinning around. That could have killed her.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Shit, fucking bots.
I know I know after that happened, she probably thinking about the conversation me and her had.
But one thing, Terrence, I always find that, when a man's in a rush, he would know and knows how to really handle the road appropriately so he don't get himself injured or killed. But when a woman is always constant in a rush, she avoids all wherefores of what she's doing just to get to her destination. So she's going to be very aggressive. Hell, someone sometimes could be on their phone or doing some other stupid stuff. And when they not paying attention well to the road and they slip at one time, that's their butt, man. You get me?
I've driven in cars with women where I literally put my foot on the actual floor for a break.
Struggle and hustle, which is something a woman really shouldn't want to do, and come into a situation where allow the man to take on the more difficult and strenuous tasks, and you focus more on your internal spiritual growth.
Okay.
Because when you see so many of these lesbian relationships, which I'm seeing a lot of, what happens is these women, they become so masculine because this society is directing them toward it. That's what I was saying. Like education in school, that's a woman thing now. I mean, women are more likely to get degrees because the education in the schools cater to them. Most of your school teachers now are women, and the students don't respect them. Because I got friends that work in the school system, and they're like, children be running wild because they don't respect female authority at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, the key is the same way.
More monitoring in the school than they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more you take the masculine man out of the formation, the more that them kids not gonna respect no discipline. They gonna have no discipline at all. And that's just sad, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you spot on with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you gonna see it in your household, and then as a result in the school, like you said, if all women is in control, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna respect them women. Them kids gonna walk over them. You know, we didn't have a lot of male teachers, and when I was coming up either, but we had more. I mean, I guess than now. But you know, coach, you know what I'm saying? My coach, Coach Love, you wasn't finna go in this class and act a clown. I mean, you know, our trigonometry teacher was a black brother, Mr. Williams. You wasn't gonna do none of that extra, none of that. Mr. Williams will damn near slap you in that class and tell your mama to come up there and say something. Wasn't scared of nobody in the neighborhood and they family members neither. See now,
I'm Shaq, can you adjust your mic a little bit? Adjust your mic. It sounds like you're away from your mic a little bit. Just adjust a little bit.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, better. Okay, go.
Yeah, I was saying that you know, most of these kids now, these teachers are deadly afraid to do their job because what happens? They do that to discipline the kid, and what happens at the next day of school? The parent comes up to the school and attempts to hurt the teacher.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they scared to do their job now. And when a man in the house or a man teacher, he would welcome that parent to come up there. You ain't gonna whoop my ass. Okay, yeah, your child is wrong. Your child is wrong. Now let's get their grades right. You can come up to this office and with some bull, but look here, your child on the football team, he ain't playing no more because he need my grade. So he ain't playing no more. You gotta discipline them kids. If you don't, they gonna run all up. And them women, man, I seen how the women cave on them cheering, man, and they be scared of them parents. They'll let the kid do anything and pass them because they scared.
Wow.
Yep. And I think there's a lot of that is on some of these current generations. Because I remember when I was growing up, my father wasn't around, and there was other guys who I was with, their father wasn't around. But the older guys took us under their wing, like that rites of passage. And we don't have nothing like that in place no more. Nothing.
Right, that's right. You know, exactly. The older men in the community would know that young man didn't have a father. We would know that, and we would normally just gravitate to that young brother. He talented. All right, well, yeah, he gonna come with my son, and y'all gonna go to practice today. I'll make sure you go to practice. Both of y'all going to practice. What do you need? You need something? You need a helmet? You need to pay for your shoes? Come on, let's go get him some shoes. Because see, that's how you help the community. Because that man right there in 10 years could be robbing you. You understand me?
Yeah, that's right. Wait a minute, I remember you the little guy.
But you know, one thing, since you mentioned that, Shatter, a lot of men don't really consider that. Not saying most dudes should play stepfathers, but always keep in mind that if you feel that the child, depending if he's not given a problematic, you should try to step in a bit. You get me? Because we don't want to create more future criminals. You get me? Regardless of the situation these women, you know, make when having these babies, you know, I think it's they should not be demonized, in my opinion. You know? But I'm not saying I will play the single dad, stepdad role, but I feel most children that don't get most problems and they're looking for just guidance and they just need some so-called male presence. I mean, just for the small things, we could oblige that, you know, as a male group. Yeah.
But you look at the family dynamics here. One time when the father was in the house, when the children come home after school, you couldn't get into no sex because the mama was there. But now the mama the head of the family, and she get off work at 5, and you get out of school at 3. Hey,
that's the only time you're gonna get something. You know what I'm saying? So, so damn, man, my mama ain't gonna come a couple 2 hours. Come short it. Let's come across so you can suck my dick.
And then all this social media don't help. All these influencers. That's why Instagram allow all this illicit exposure to the physical body. You know, butts and breasts and all that. Go ahead on, keep showing it. Because we socially programming y'all without y'all even realizing.
Sure about that. And the funny thing about Terrence, with programming, parents should have understand that you have to control the program what your children consume. You get me? At least, you know, That's something
Right, but
for sure. Not everything's been perfect.
Everybody got a cell phone though. It's, you know, so how many people gonna go to the length? It's like the children who father don't stay with them. They have to be kind of more proactive. It's like, you know, be monitoring their phone.
But you know,
that's everything going out there with the phones.
You know, it's funny you mentioned cell phone. I gotta talk to some people that have tech. See if there's any little clues here and there to really get some understanding of the cell phone, because there's some things you can program certain phones. I'm saying, in my opinion.
You can block, you know, porn sites and things like that, you know, but
yeah.
But then you got Texas, you know, people be sending each other pictures now.
Well, you know, it'd be surprised to find a young kid that's not a teenager getting some new pictures from a little girl. I could be wrong. They could be doing it. I don't know, man. I mean,
yeah, they do.
They doing it, partner. You better believe it.
Oh shit, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, they doing it. Oh man, look here.
To be honest with you, it's almost the only solution is enclaves of societies within society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to have a buffer. You got to, you know, be like they say, being in the world but not of it.
Yeah.
But we in the world and very much of it, because we don't have no buffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the children get out of school, where's the little social place for them to go where they can engage in activities, learn African principles, things like that. We don't have nothing like that. You know, when I was coming up, I think in the 90s was the last era they had rites of passage. After the early 90s, rites of passage has been extinct.
Where you from? They had that. Where you at?
No, I mean, when I was coming up in the 90s, if there were certain people that had rites of passage. I remember people who went through the training. I forget it was like I forget how many weeks it was, but it was present. But now it's like nothing, because social media, the rap, everything then took over. Because they studied our culture and they know how influenced we are by images. Because with us, it's different from them. Having that melanin can kind of work against you, where now all this imagery around you programs the subconscious. So you keep seeing these visuals every day. You keep seeing them. Like this one guy, I know he was doing some paperwork for me, and his stepbrother was staying with him, and you know, his computer room was the same room that his brother slept at.
Okay.
And his brother played this country music, and he said, "Man, I can't stand that country music." So after looking over the paperwork, I realized there was some more modifications he needed to make. So I went back there maybe about 5 or 6 months later, and the same music that he disdained, he was singing it.
Okay.
Hearing it over every day, all day, every day.
You know that.
Yeah, it's like that song on the radio that you absolutely hate, but then after hearing it 25 times per day, then you know every damn, verse, every verse of it.
25 times.
Yeah, no, I literally, like, here in Houston, bro, 97.9 will play the same Cardi B, same Megan Thee Stallion track, bro, like 5 times an hour.
Yep, you're right. They know what they're doing. And then, I remember that meeting they had at Farrakhan House, and some of the brothers there, radio hosts, were saying how they had a big meeting with record labels and the prison industrial complex board of directors, and how they were suggesting that they play certain music. Like he's saying.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa.
I mean, it was so bad, bro, that you being from Houston as an actual Houston artist, you couldn't even get your music played. They would intentionally not play no Houston artists in Houston, and that was like the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. I didn't understand it, man. You'd have to wait like to the weekend. Michael 5,000 watts, he'll spin your music. But if it's top 100, top 50, you will not be played. Even if you the hottest thing in Houston, you won't be played unless you're Megan Thee Stallion.
I see. Wow. I'm learning a lot from this, man.
You notice other cultures of people, like certain Jewish people, they don't interact with the world at large. They get their own little society within society. And we just so far gone. It's like,
yeah, and the same way with the Spanish. The Spanish like that too. The Spanish people the same way. You know what I'm saying? They got their own society, right? Like you said, in the world, but without the world. Like on the outside, they in, but they still all them quesoneras, they children, and like the way they customs and stuff where they from, they respect that stuff. They do that in their whole area. They're gonna keep their taco stands. and they're gonna keep everything. You know, that money that they spend in their culture, they make a business of it. Like I'll even come over there, and I know a little Spanish. I know a couple people over in the area. I would have to literally send a Spanish brother down there to sell something that I have because they just won't shop with me because I'm black, and they do that. They true to themselves, man. Before anyone else, I would go get my Spanish partner. He was like, well, why you need me? Why you just don't go down there? I said, because I'm not y'all. And he like, yeah, whatever. And I give him the stuff, and he'll go down there and he'll sell it, and he'll make more money than what I was asking for. Only because what? They respect their people. And we don't do that to each other.
I see. Right.
Yeah, man. That's why a lot of people leaving here, man. You got people going to Africa. People just getting up out of here, man. Because this, like the writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't. To be honest with you, I always try to be optimistic, but more realistic. And when it comes to this society, if about prosperity and progress, I don't see a turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gone. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, it's gotta hit fully rock bottom.
It's better to construct a whole new building than to refurbish the old building.
Okay.
And it's time to rebuild. Refurbishing is not even an option at this point.
Yeah, it's gotta hit rock bottom, dog. It's gotta hit rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, it's very the prognosis. I'm with you on that. It's very doom and gloomish looking. You know, it's overcast skies for sure. But there's some glimmers of sunlight. I'm starting to see more and more every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I figure like if we can get if you don't need 100% of the people to change the stuff around, all you need is about 15%. You know what I'm saying? That I was saying that we don't need 100% of everybody to turn the system around. We only need about 15%.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? Just people that pledge to not hate on each other and to shop with each other first before they go somewhere else. That right there would stem the tide a little bit, at least for brothers who want to work with each other and sisters who want to work with each other. At least our money would continue in one circle. Now that would help out a lot.
I would go even lower. I think 15 is somewhat high. I would say under 10%. And the reason why I say 10%, if you look at most people that hold most of the wealth and all stuff, they're like roughly 10%.
I got you.
So if we're gonna talk, we gotta be honest here that there's nothing, you're not gonna get anything over 20 or close to 50%, because that's near half. So what's the other thing that you see? What is the norm? 10%. Or just
I think 10% or
slightly above 10%. Because think about it. If most of these communities we reside and the money doesn't stay in the community, we always know that, you know, one of two things. People don't want to keep the money in the community. They want to spend back to the people that they get it from. And another thing is that they don't see the value of keeping the money in the community. You get me? Because if you look at people that set up shop, you see they're very much stingy with the money. They don't want to give nothing back over here. They'll sit there, hope that you buy their food, buy whatever, and when the time comes to donate and put some back in the community, they're very stingy. Why? Because they know the value of the dollar.
Yeah, you got some Dr. Money gets in every culture. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, like I use one for example. There's a Caribbean place very close to my house. It's the second location in our area. We don't have very many Caribbean places on the north side of Houston. Mm-hmm. Mostly the Caribbean implants here on the south side in Sugarland, places like that, more close to Katy. Then they have some up north.
But you in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there for about 6 years.
Yeah, so you know the Caribbean, you know, transplants, they usually more on the south side of the area or downtown or going back toward Maine and going to Sugarland. Well, this brother opened up him a place called Caribbean Hot Pot. He had one on 1960. He just released one on veterans. And he's got meet and greets on Friday and Saturday nights where, you know, they serve liquor. A lot of the people that's movers and shakers in the area come and have drinks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of couples come in there, a lot of mixing and mingling, man. Keeps pretty ladies in there all the time. You pull up there on Friday, man, you know what I'm saying? It's packed with, you know what I'm saying, nice women. And I've seen him come up from one location to two. He keeps his stuff right. He hires people from the neighborhood. Now as far as his philanthropic donations, I'm not sure, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying, that if someone brought a right, you know, nonprofit, he probably would do something with it. And we actually gave him a t-shirt deal, and he shopped with us, and we did his t-shirts for his employees, and he made it a fact to mess with us, number one, because we had the best prices and we had the best quality, and also we was brothers. So, you know, we didn't just ask him, hey man, come shop with us because we black. Now we giving you the best price, the best quality, and we just so happen to be black. And he gave us a deal. So, you know, there's hope, brother. You know, I try to look on the optimist side too, you know, but I'm realistic as well. But there is hope, man. I see it, dog. I have to give props when props due to certain people.
Okay. But yeah, there's hope. Like I said, only time will tell. I know Jay Line said it's finished. I'm not sure if you're from. I'm not sure you're from Jamaica, Jay Line, but I'm not gonna. If you want to answer, that's fine. Or some part of the island, or you're Israelite. I'd like to know if you want to answer that. But I think that's enough for me. I think I lay out the articles and the information, and like always, and I should did like a poll, but I know what the poll is going to compose of anyway, so I'm not gonna bother. But overall, yeah, there is a declaration of war, and the war is in regards to having a mate. And that's one thing I want people to take out of this stream or this video. I think the articles that you'll see in the description, you can look for yourself to really have a more clear analysis. I know this has been circulating lately throughout the internet, and for all good reason, it's a war tactic to keep you ladies that don't know about this information that they already had plans and they put it out as propaganda through the written literature to let you carry out in real life if you already carrying out already. So you're gonna have to make a conscious decision, you know, that it's in their best interest that you stay single and keep consuming. If you're finding a mate and work and parent with a partner, with a man, especially a black man or whoever, Bible for a black man, but you know, that's not a story, that you're gonna be out here alone and you're gonna possibly die alone if you're not careful, ladies. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So, any final thoughts, Shatter?
Nah, man, I just agree with that, and you know what I'm saying, by proxy, for some reason, you know what I mean. They have done that because they're going to script the protection from the women actually by having them without a mate. You know what I'm saying? They strip their protection, they actually make them weaker, but then they're telling you that you're a strong, independent woman by not having a mate. See, you see the wordplay, how they mess people's mind up.
You're right about that. You're right about that. All right, Terrence. I'm not sure if you have any last words, but if not, you know, I give you a ring back. Is that cool?
Okay. Y'all be good.
All right, cool. Thank you. And I like that. Yeah, and I like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, thank you. And if you're gonna be new to this channel, make sure you hit that red button, that top bell, that subscriber bell for uploads and live streams in the Chaos Rain channel. Not the middle, but the top. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. And now you can add me as a friend on Facebook. Eric Rain on Facebook. So those are links. Oh, and also I have a Discord. If you want to know where my Discord is, it's in the About section. I might put in the description, but you can easily find that. So that's all I have to say. Thank y'all for listening. And y'all know where to catch me. Let us ready.